Imagine holding your breath, not for 10 seconds, not for a minute, but for 10 whole minutes. Sounds impossible, right? Well, today, we're going to walk through exactly what would happen to your body, second by second, minute by minute, if you actually tried it. And here's the twist. There's one fact I'll reveal later that explains how some people really have pushed the human limit far beyond what seems possible. Now, before we dive in, ask yourself this. How long do you think you could last without breathing right now? 30 seconds? A minute? Maybe 2? Keep your number in mind, because by the end of this video, you might rethink what you thought was humanly possible. So, let's start small. The moment you take that deep breath and hold it, your body doesn't panic right away. In fact, during the first 10 to 20 seconds, things feel normal. Your brain is calm, oxygen levels are steady, and carbon dioxide hasn't built up yet. It's almost like pausing a song. Nothing's really changed. But then the seconds start stacking up. By the 30-second mark, you'll notice your chest wants to move. That's not because you're out of oxygen. It's because carbon dioxide is beginning to rise in your blood. Think of it like your body's smoke alarm. The oxygen is still there, but CO is screaming for you to breathe. And here's the first big problem. The urge to breathe comes from rising carbon dioxide, not falling oxygen. That's why sometimes people feel like they can't hold it any longer. Even though they technically still have air in the tank, push it to the 1-minute mark, and your heart rate slows down. That's your body's built-in survival trick, called the mammalian dive reflex. It's the same reflex that lets seals and dolphins hold their breath underwater for so long. Your body is basically saying, all right, let's conserve energy, slow the pulse, send oxygen to the brain and heart first, and starve the muscles if we have to. Now imagine you're hitting 2 minutes. Most untrained people would already be gasping by now. Your chest will spasm, your diaphragm contracts, and your brain starts throwing warning signs. Like little electrical jolts telling you, breathe, breathe, breathe. This is where it gets suspenseful. Could you fight the urge and keep going? By 3 minutes, the situation turns dangerous. Oxygen in your blood starts dropping below normal. Think of it like your phone battery hitting that dreaded red zone. You still have a little charge left, but if you keep pushing, it shuts down without warning. At this point, dizziness sets in. Your vision narrows. Your ears may ring, and blackouts become a real threat. Now here's a riddle for you. What shuts down first when your body runs out of oxygen? Your brain, your heart, or your muscles? The surprising answer is your brain. Within seconds of severe oxygen loss, the brain goes offline, leading to unconsciousness. Your heart usually keeps beating for a little while longer, but without a brain in control, things go downhill fast. By 4 minutes of holding your breath, if you haven't passed out yet, you're playing with fire. Brain cells begin to suffer permanent damage. Scientists at NASA once compared oxygen deprivation to pulling the plug on a computer. The system doesn't just stop. It corrupts the files as it crashes, and that damage, it can't always be undone. Now, let's crank this thought experiment up to the extreme. What about 10 minutes? Most people wouldn't even get close. They'd black out well before. And here's the myth bust. You've probably heard that humans can only survive about 3 or 4 minutes without oxygen. That's not entirely true. It depends on the situation. For example, if someone is submerged in cold water, the body's metabolism slows dramatically, allowing survival for much longer. In rare cases, people have been revived after 10, even 20 minutes without breathing. Though it's far from normal and filled with risks. And now, the special fact I teased earlier. Believe it or not, the world record for holding breath underwater is not 5 minutes, not 7, but over 24 minutes. Yes, a man named Alexa Vendrell set that record in 2016 using a special technique called oxygen pre-breathing, which supercharges the body before the attempt. It's not natural breathing, but it shows how far humans can stretch the limits. Imagine that to 24 minutes without a single breath. So here's my question to you. If humans can push limits like that, do you think we're anywhere near discovering the true boundary of what the body can endure? Or have we barely scratched the surface? Let's recap the big takeaways before we close. First, the urge to breathe isn't about running out of oxygen. It's about carbon dioxide screaming louder and louder. Second, the body has hidden survival tricks. like slowing the heart and prioritizing vital organs. And third, while 10 minutes without breathing is deadly for most people. Extreme cases and trained professionals show us that the human body is capable of shocking feats. If you've made it this far, you've just unlocked one of the strangest survival stories hidden inside your own biology. And that's why you should subscribe. Because here on What Happens If, we dig into these hidden, mind-bending scenarios that nobody tells you about. Now, if holding your breath for 10 minutes feels extreme, wait until you hear this. What happens if you tried to survive in space without a spacesuit? No oxygen, no pressure, just raw outer space. That's coming up next. And trust me, you won't want to miss it. So, here's the final cliffhanger for you. If 10 minutes without air is nearly impossible on Earth, what would 10 seconds in the vacuum of space do to your body?